This has just become a point where it's an age-old discussion on where the hell is Starfield? Where are the Starfield updates? Where is Bethesda going with the game? Are they going to stick with it? Are they abandoning it? I don't know at this point. This game has been unequivocally just brutalized by its lack of support from a developer that said it would be doing updates on a monthly basis, from a developer that has clearly moved on to the Elder Scrolls 6, and from a company like Microsoft that is completely fine with just taking the initial huge launch that they had with Starfield and now moving on to the next game because they're realizing that they need to make sure Bethesda gets it triple right with the Elder Scrolls 6. Because this, in my opinion, is Bethesda's last chance. If they somehow fuck up the Elder Scrolls 6, they're done. There's no saving that studio. They will be shuttered, at least in my opinion. I cannot see that studio continuing in any which way if they are not able to release a good game. Because in my opinion, Starfield was an alright game. It had a lot of problems. I've made countless videos talking about said problems, but it could have been better. It should be better, and they should have already released updates on it. Shattered Space was horrendous. It was one of the worst things I've ever played, and I've made so many videos talking about that expansion. I've made so many videos talking about Starfield and why it just keeps getting worse on a continuous basis, and now I'm making a video on why the fuck Bethesda hasn't released any sort of content update or any update on the development of any fixes for the game since March. All the way back in March, they were talking about how we're eager for updates and that they're appreciating the passion for Starfield and that the team has been hard at work and they cannot wait to show us what's next. And we're in November. We are in November. We are in mid-November as of right now, as I'm recording this video, and there's nothing. There was a small little color change in the 2-year anniversary and like a little teaser, but we've had nothing in terms of updates and in terms of content. And the most disturbing thing is that all they've been doing on the Starfield Twitter account is just promoting Creation Club content. At this point, the only revenue that they're making clearly is through Creation Club content. And I made a whole video discussing that and a whole video discussing the problems with the Creation Club content, like an issue on how if you charge people for your Creation Club content, you can make it achievement friendly, which means hypothetically, you could create a cheat terminal like in Fallout 4 and Skyrim, charge 100 credits for it, and people would be able to still keep their achievements while being able to cheat in the game. It is a broken system, it is a system that should be fixed, and it is a system with an amazing lack of foresight coming from Bethesda, which isn't really surprising at all, that people would just be able to charge so you could save achievements. It blows my mind, and it blows my mind further that Bethesda has had no, hey look, we're developing this, even releasing a trailer, even releasing a statement. We recently had confirmation from Todd Howard himself that The Elder Scrolls 6 is still a long way off. You are not giving us any updates on Starfield, and you're going to tell us that The Elder Scrolls 6 is still a long way off? Stop talking to people. Stop talking to YouTubers. Stop talking to journalists and cook. You need to do your jobs, Todd, because right now you are doing a shit job at literally everything you were set out to do. I mean, we have to be honest here. Todd Howard's main job is, of course, being like an executive producer and creative director of Bethesda. That's his first and foremost job. But he's the guy that hypes us up. He hyped us up with Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Starfield, Fallout 76, and The Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim. He's done an amazing job. He's done an amazing job of hyping us up every single time, even though we know that it's going to get worse. It got worse with Fallout 4. It was still a great game in my opinion. It got worse. 76 was a gamble, and they really fucked that up. Even though the game now I think is still pretty solid and has improved a lot with its new development teams and working on it, I think it's great. Now, Starfield was a real disappointment coming from Bethesda. It was an extreme disappointment. And studios like Larian, and even, in my opinion at least, Obsidian with The Outer Worlds 2 has showed us how to make a good RPG with good choices, with freedom to do what you want. And Outer Worlds 2, in my opinion, is really good for that. It may not be as simulated as Starfield is with space exploration and all that stuff, but it is still a damn solid good game. And I think, at least in my opinion, in its current state, a lot better than Starfield. But it just goes to show that Bethesda is quite literally allowing other RPG developers to take the player base from them. You're losing players. And with every day that passes without any new content updates, without any new content showing, without literally anything, is another player that's lost, is another sale that is lost, and is another person that is done with your bullshit, Bethesda. I'm not saying you need to rush out an update like you did with Shattered Space, because that shit was horrendous. It was awful. It was terrible. Never do that again. Do not fucking ever do a Shattered Space again. That was one of the worst content updates that you have ever released. I would argue it was worse than even the worst Fallout 76 content release. And you charged us half the price of the main game for it. It was fucking disgraceful. Never do it again. I'm expecting the next DLC to be 5 times as fucking big if you're going to be charging us 40 Canadian dollars. Out of your fucking mind on that. They need to take their time, of course, but they still need to set the expectation of, look, we're still working on the game, because we haven't had any updates since March. And even then, all you were saying is that we're working on it. And what I'm expecting here is not only a content update, but hopefully a complete overhaul of the game's mechanics. And it is disappointing that we are expected to have that if they can't perform on an overhaul of the game. Because the game right now might be fun for 1/10 of the player base, but it is sitting at the most horrid scores possible on Steam. Fallout 76 has a higher overall score on Steam than Starfield does, and that is fucking disgraceful, committed to the amount of time and the amount of effort that was put into Starfield compared to 76. With the amount of videos that I've made shitting on Bethesda and Starfield in particular, I want them to succeed. I want Starfield to succeed, and I do want to go back and play the game. But I want to go back and play the game once they've overhauled it. I want them to fix it. Because right now, it is not in a good state. And for the people that defend Bethesda, it's like, dude, like, I understand you like the game, but, like, don't defend this, okay? Like, want them to do better. And you might think it's great, but the clear majority do not think it's good. The clear majority do not think it's good. The clear majority made that statement when it came to Steam reviews, when it's come to literally any reviews. The majority of people have stated that they don't like this game. But I do feel like the majority have also stated that they believe and that they can hopefully say that they want Bethesda to do better, that they want Bethesda to fix it. They clearly fixed it with 76. Now, there are still major issues with 76 in terms of its engine and in terms of what they could do, and they can do a lot better with 76. But with what the current team with Fallout 76 has, I think they're doing a great job personally. Now, Starfield is the main title that they're focusing on right now. I still hope that they're committed to this game because I want to see them do better with Starfield. I do want to see them succeed. I want to see Starfield in 5 years being one of the most played titles of all time. I do. I want to see them overhaul the game. I want to see the space exploration mechanics done right. I want to see the ground exploration mechanics done right. I want to see the combat improved. I want to see the writing improved. I want to see literally everything improved because they have an okay foundation with Starfield. But it needs to be overhauled. They need to start from the ground up and look at the feedback on what's been done wrong. And it horribly just makes me sad that they thought originally that that game was going to be like Game of the Year material because it was good, but as people played it, it just came to a realization that it wasn't. It just wasn't up to par on literally any other game that they've made. Yes, it was the biggest game that they've ever created, but it was also the most shallow. It was as wide as an ocean and as deep as a puddle. And that is just a perfect encapsulation on exactly what Bethesda has led to. And I hope that they can fix it with an overhaul for the game and that they can hopefully fix it and make sure they don't repeat the same mistakes with The Elder Scrolls 6.